Salutations friends, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm going to be sharing with you 10 fragrances that I think are excellent work scents. I'm also going to be sharing with you a variety of different fragrances from different price points. So I have luxury price fragrances, affordable fragrances, fragrances for men, women. I just kind of wanted to glomp them all together and share with you scents that are fantastic to wear in professional settings. So if you'd like to know what I think, then keep watching. Now, a few years ago, I think about 4 years ago, I did a video just like this where I shared 10 fragrances. Those fragrances on that list still ring true. I'm gonna link that video below if you wanna cringe at my way older videos or if you're used to cringing at my newer videos. But these are more fragrances and I wanted to include a variety of different scents. So I have, again, niche fragrances, designer fragrances, very affordably priced scents. And I just thought that with, people going into work and wanting to express themselves with scent, that I would share fragrances I think are excellent for professional settings. Now, when I was choosing these fragrances, I primarily chose ones that, although some of them might have really beastly projection, these are ones that for the most part don't hurt people who have a sensitivity to fragrances or don't have the characteristics that people complain about when they have a sensitivity to scents. And what I mean by that is there's a few compositions that people just don't generally like. Powdery fragrances are one that can definitely cause headache-inducing scents. Very strong rose fragrances and musky white florals. I find that those scents can be very challenging and very I want to say suffocating for people that have a sensitivity to fragrances. Now, with wearing fragrances in the workplace, obviously it depends on where you work and your coworkers. So just because I think these fragrances would be good for coworkers, if you work with somebody that has a sensitivity to scents in general, just, be mindful of the people that you work with. You have the right to express yourselves and they have the right to be able to work without a headache. So these are just recommendations that I think would work very well in a professional setting and don't have a lot of the characteristics that pretty much dominate the types of scents that people are like really scared of smelling or can cause headaches or coughing. And again, that doesn't have anything to do with the quality of a fragrance. It's just certain compositions and certain notes people generally have polarizing feelings of. And I like to recommend staying away from those polarizing fragrances when you work in a professional setting, just to be mindful of everybody around you. The first one we're going to talk about is one of the most affordable fragrances on this list. In fact, I think it is the most affordable fragrance on this list. And this is if you like gourmand fragrances and you like to smell sweet and delicious. I think this fragrance specifically would be really good. It's Clinique My Happy Cookies and Kisses. This smells like a tray of cookies. It's very spiced, slightly nutty, but it doesn't have like a tremendous amount of sillage to it. So even if people don't like gourmand fragrances, this isn't the type of gourmand that I think would be too suffocating, and it's not in and of itself a beastly fragrance. So this is something that's a little bit more personal that would be able to be worn in a professional kind of cubicle office-like setting. I do really like this one. This definitely reminds me, not of an exact dupe of By the Fireplace, but it is very similar in its kind of slightly peppery, chestnutty-like feeling that By the Fireplace has. So if that's the composition that you like and you want a more affordable option, try Cookies and Kisses. It's not the same, but it smells dang similar. And I think for a gourmand fragrance in a professional setting, this is a great one to check out. Now, if you do like those spiced fragrances, if you like those more masculine leaning aromatic scents, one of my favorite fragrances, I do like to wear this one a lot. It is a fantastic fragrance. I've been singing this fragrance's praises on my channel for years. It is from History's Day Parfums and it's $18.99. This one has such a beautiful peppery note to it, but at the same time it has like a smooth, very sexy vanilla to it. I think this one is just fantastic and one of my absolute favorites. This is a great one to wear if you want to smell a little bit more distinctive, a little bit more niche, so to speak, not like smelling like everyone else, but still smelling like something that's not going to overtly tickle the nose of your colleagues, especially if they're in a more anti-fragrance mentality. It is a great scent. It smells really good. It's very sexy. It is masculine leaning, but at the same time, there's just something about it. It's got, like I said, like orange blossom and pepper and vanilla it just comes together to blend into a really sexy everyday scent you could wear. If I have reviews of any of these fragrances, I will link them below because some of these I am mad in love with, and this is one of them. I don't talk about this one as much because I don't want to be like a broken record, but this one is still one of my top fragrances ever. I do like a lot of masculine scents. I myself don't mind smelling like masculine fragrances or men's fragrance counter. That fragrance is genderless, anyone can wear whatever they want, but a lot of people prefer to shop on the men's or women's side, and that is completely fine. That has to do with trends. Generally, men prefer to smell like this. That's just what the market says and what buying records and just, you know, like most men buy these and most women buy these. It's just how it works. That doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with shopping on the other side. I myself like a nice masculine fragrance from time to time. And if you want to treat yourself to a little bit more, well, not a little bit more, a more expensive fragrance that smells really good and you like masculine leaning fragrances, I would say Green Irish Tweed from Creed is fantastic. This is my scent of the day. I love wearing this fragrance. This was one of the first fragrances from Creed that I fell in love with. There's just something about the way that this smells that I find to be so sexy, but also very approachable. It's just a really beautiful scent, and it's a great fragrance if you want to smell very distinguished, very elevated, but still smell kind of sexy and professional in the work environment. This is a great one to wear. It is on the pricier side, but in my opinion, it is one of the fragrances from Creed specifically that is worth the investment. If you like the idea of smelling very sexy, but at the same time not being too salacious when it comes down to work fragrances, I think YVRA 1958 is a great fragrance. This is L'Essence de Presence. This is a little bit more kind of smooth and sexy. I just love that it has like a little bit of spice in it, which I find to be really attractive. This is what I wore the other day. I hadn't worn this fragrance in a while, and when I was figuring out the fragrances I wanted to share for this video, whenever I do these videos, it always takes me a few days to kind of go through my collection, try things, and figure things out. And I had just moved my fragrances around, and I had put this one in the back, and I was like, oh no, I've forgotten about this scent. It's so fantastic. And I was wearing it, and I was loving it. Loving it. It's a very woody fragrance, but it has beautiful notes in here that just make it smell really luxurious. It smells really sexy, really smooth, a little bit spiced in there. It's just a fantastic scent. I don't wear it too much. I'm not going to go too much into the notes because, again, I'm not trying to talk about one fragrance for like 20 minutes. So I will, again, link any reviews I have below. This is a great one. Again, kind of like History's Day Parfums. If you're looking for a scent that smells really sexy, that has some beautiful nuances to it, but you don't want to smell like what everyone else smells like, but still be approachable and not wear fragrances that smell too avant-garde, more crowd-pleasing, mainstream, attractive, complimentary fragrances, that is an excellent one. It really is. Just kind of round off these woody aromatic fragrances that I think work really well. I think Sequoia from Abbott is excellent. This is a brand that I haven't really kind of gone too much into. Woody. It has some kind of slight smoke incensey notes in there. It's a brand that I wanted to explore more of, but I have been enjoying this fragrance. This is a fragrance I like to wear in the morning, and sometimes if I'm going to be running errands, I will just kind of spritz this on. It is really, really nice, again, for a woody aromatic scent. And again, an easy fragrance to wear every day to the office. That's not too crazy. That's going to hurt people's noses, give them headaches, but at the same time, it is a fragrance that not a lot of people own, so you're going to smell a little bit different, a little bit special than everybody else at the office. I'm going to breeze through these two because I don't want this video to be too long, but these both kind of fit along the lines of just easy grab fragrances for work if you want to smell fresh, beautiful, complimentary, but also kind of semi-mainstream. And what I mean by mainstream fragrances doesn't mean that they're dumbed down fragrances. It's just by design, these fragrances are made to be mass appealing. And in a lot of cases, those fragrances are excellent for the workplace. There might be some notes and some mass appealing fragrances that, again, might be a little bit too much for people that have a sensitivity to fragrances, so I wouldn't recommend for the workplace. But these, on the other hand, I find to be excellent, and I do believe I have reviews of these. Again, if I don't, I will review them if you need me to review them. A Gucci Bamboo, this is specifically the Eau de Toilette, but the Eau de Parfum would also be a great one to wear. and Tom Ford Eau de Soleil Blanc. This one is so great to wear, especially if you work in an area that's very hot, very humid, but you still want to smell very refreshing, but beautiful, and just, oh, this one is just so gorgeous. I don't know if I've reviewed this yet. I need to review this fragrance, but it is excellent, and again, so good for work. And these last three fragrances I saved for last because in my mind, these are the types of fragrances that I would expect people to wear in a work environment, especially if you want to smell very attractive, very crowd-pleasing. These are more feminine fragrances. One of them is kind of more unisex. Again, anyone can wear anything they want. I kind of already went through the more masculine fragrances, and I wanted to end it with the women's. Now, each of these fragrances of themselves are very beautiful, but at the same time, they work very well in a professional setting, because even though one of these is crazy powerful and does have a lot of florals, it's not like an overpowering flower, even though the name is Flower Bomb. Now, the reason why I like this fragrance for professional settings is this is such a beautiful scent, but it also has just an approachable atmosphere. It is strong in the way that it smells, but it's not overpowering. And with a lot of flowers, you run the risk of, again, hurting somebody's nose, suffocating somebody, making them cough, giving them headaches. People have real aversions to fragrances, and I will always want to respect that, especially when you're working. People deserve to work in an environment where they don't feel like they're going to get a migraine because somebody's wearing a lot of fragrance next to them. So whenever I was in a professional setting, I would always try and be very mindful about my scents. But that doesn't mean if scents are important to you that you shouldn't be able to express yourself. So if you like more feminine, mainstream designer scents, but you want something that's very fruity, very boldly floral, but at the same time isn't the type of flowers that, in my opinion, are really going to cause a lot of negative reactions in people that are sensitive to fragrances. Weirdly enough, I find Flower Bomb to be a beautiful, just kind of blend of flowers that, even though it is a very strong fragrance, it's not overtly oppressive with the flowers. It's more of a youthful take and not like a musky, mature take. And sometimes musky, mature, dated florals, albeit very beautiful, people have real reactions to, just in regards to coughing and headaches and things like that. And I just think that the blend of these flowers, for some reason, again, is very strong, but works very well in a professional setting. So if you want to have that beautiful, feminine, attractive, complementary designer experience when it comes down to your fragrances, and you like florals, Flower Bomb is excellent. Don't overspray. 1 to 2 sprays is enough. But I think that this will definitely itch that scratch, and in a lot of cases it won't suffocate the person nearby, especially if they don't like fragrances too much. Now, this next one is the exact opposite, and I kind of mentioned before in the beginning that sometimes rose fragrances can be too powerful for people, and some people have real aversions to rose. But if rose is important to you and it's a way you like to smell, I think this fragrance in and of itself is very beautiful, and I find it to be more demure in its projection and sillage. And it's from Way, and it's Melrose Place. Now, I prefer North Bondi of the two, and I know Way just came out with 2 new fragrances that I need to get my hands on, but something about Melrose Place, it's a very polite rose scent. If I could describe it anyway, it's very polite. It's beautiful. It's like a red rose. It's slightly watery, but it's very light on the skin. It doesn't have a lot of projection, but it also doesn't have a big, bold rose scent. It's, again, just very demure, very easy to wear, but at the same time, it's a very refreshing scent. So if you like to wear rose, but you're afraid to wear rose in the workplace, give this one a shot. I do really enjoy it. And last and not least, I love this scent, and I like citrusy, musky, light fragrances, but I also know that a lot of people don't like those scents. So if you like to wear musky, bright, citrusy scents in the workplace, and you're looking for one that's going to be less offensive and more just really beautiful and effervescent, I think from Banana Republic 90 Pure White is gorgeous. So beautiful. This is a very affordable scent, full retail price, and you can usually find these discount sites for like way cheap, but the quality of this fragrance is exceptional. And I like how it's musky and light and very effervescent on the skin. This is more of a unisex leaning fragrance, but I find it to be the citrus note in this I find to be very bright and beautiful. And so if you like musky citruses, this could go masculine or feminine. It's not going to smell like a woman's wearing a man's fragrance or a man's wearing a woman's fragrance. Although fragrance is genderless, wear whatever you want. This just smells like a very unisex, bright, refreshing, musky scent. And if that's the type of fragrances you're looking for, especially in a work environment that's not going to be too overpowering for people in your vicinity when you're on the clock, this one I just think is great. I love the entire lineup from the Icon collection from Banana Republic. This one specifically is just excellent, especially again for professionals. Now, I could have added different fragrances, I could have chosen more, but I really wanted to kind of have a nice variety of men's fragrances, women's fragrances, unisex leaning scents, designer fragrances, niche, luxury, and affordable. And I thought that this lineup of scents would be really nice. Again, some of these fragrances are on the pricier side, but just because they're on the pricier side doesn't mean that they are any better than the ones that are more affordable. It just depends on what your budget is, the type of professional environment you work in, if you're allowed to wear fragrances, if you're allowed to be more bold with scents. I just wanted to have a nice variety for you guys. So I hope you like this list. Again, if I have reviews of any of these fragrances, I will link them below. I will also again link my last video below that I did years ago if you guys want to check that out. And I'd also love to know if you agree or disagree with any of these scents. Let me know in the comment section below. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Bye!